we've been like exploring the movements of our thoracic spine. So our thoracic spine is kind of like where your rib cage area is. And as you can probably see here, at the back of your rib cage, you have these two bones. They're floating bones called your shoulder blades, your scapula. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on today. So in specific, we're going to be focusing on how your shoulder blades can integrate with your core function. So check out the shoulder blade here. And you can see these red marks just below the shoulder blade on the rib cage. So those red marks are the insertions of your external oblique. So you hear people talking about your obliques all the time when you're doing core work. Your oblique muscles attached to a scapular stabilizer called serratus anterior. And these muscles are literally joined. You can't separate them. Every time you throw a ball, every time you push the floor away, every time you do anything with your shoulder, the shoulder blade's going to move and your core is going to be involved as well. So that's the focus of today's class, is how we integrate our shoulder blades into core work. Cool. There'll be loads of familiar moves. All right, guys. So let's just, we're going to start today lying on our back, which is great. And ideally, if you can, prop your feet up on a wall or a chair or a couch, whatever you have to put your feet up onto. And you're just going to literally pop those feet on the wall, hip width distance. Relax your head down. And just place your hands onto your tummy. So your left and your right hand are on your belly, nice and snug. So I don't want you to mentally check out here and just think, oh, this is just a little bit of relaxing breathing. This breath work is to optimize your core so that it's going to function better later on. So as you breathe in, I want you to really target your breath into your belly, so belly breathing, and you're going to feel with your left and your right hand if your left and right sides of your tummy are expanding equally on that inhalation. So go ahead and take a big inhale in through the nose, and ideally we're exhaling out the nose as well. So as you inhale in through the nose, you want to try and encourage equal expansion of your belly on the left and on the right sides. Feeling the rib cage expand out to the side, so lateral expansion of the rib cage on that inhale. And then equal deflation of the rib cage on your exhale. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. I'll just put my timer on. So we're focusing on equal expansion on the inhale, equal deflation on the exhale. As you lie here and breathe, try and elongate that inhale and elongate the exhale as well. Make sure that you're not letting your chest or your neck start to tense up as you take your inhale. I'm really trying to say, hey core, I want you to start to optimize here. Let's get rid of the neck muscle activation. Let's get rid of any tension in the shoulders. Keep on going. So as you probably already figured out, with your hands on your tummy, your hands are literally covering your abdominal muscles. So what you're feeling as you breathe in and you feel that expansion in your tummy, that's your abs literally lengthening as you take an inhale and slowly contracting or relaxing as you take the exhale. And just like any other muscle in your body, your abdominals, they need to be able to lengthen and contract. We don't want them to be in a constant state of contraction. It's very dysfunctional. So big inhale allows them to, it's called an eccentric loading. They lengthen as we breathe in, and they relax as we breathe out. We're almost done. 3 minutes is almost up. We're going to try and maintain this kind of breath quality as we go about class today. Less than a minute to go here. Start to feel yourself inhale as if you're inhaling into the ground. So not just up towards the sky through the belly, but back into the floor as well. Adding a little bit more three-dimensional breath into the quality of that inhale. There. Last 2 breaths. And the last breath here. You can probably hear my watch. And well done. So keep that kind of breath quality in the back of your mind. You're going to bring yourself up, and we're coming straight onto all fours from here. So on all fours, okay, with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, pressing the back of your feet into the floor. Let's just take one cat-cow to find our neutral spine. So you're going to allow the lower back to arch, lift the chest, look forward, inhale, feel that inhale into the belly again, and then exhale round into the spine, and then find a happy medium between those 2 extremes. So length through the tailbone to the wall behind you, length through the crown of the head to the wall in front of you. Now from here, your spine's not going to change. We're going to start to feel the shoulder blades move, okay? So keeping the elbows straight, we're not going to bend them. You're going to draw the shoulder blades together towards the spine, as if you were squeezing a pencil between them. And then you're going to push the floor away. Allow the shoulder blades to retract. Squeeze an imaginary pencil between them, and then push the floor away, protract. Okay, let's go for 8 of these. Push. And 7. So these would be little scapular push-ups. This is the easiest variation here on all fours. We're going to start to obviously build and build and build to increase the challenge as we carry on with class. Let's go for 4 more. As soon as I let my shoulder blades draw together towards my spine, I'm not letting my lower back arch, okay? So keep that under lock and key. Last 2. And 1. Well done. Now bring yourself up into high kneeling. Find a little tuck through the tail, so a little bit of glute activation. Reach your arms out in front of you, and we're going to do the exact same movement. So no rib cage flaring. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together towards your spine, and then you're going to push an imaginary wall away. Squeeze the shoulder blades together towards the spine, push an imaginary wall away. As you squeeze the shoulder blades together, you might notice, if I turn myself towards you, if you squeeze the shoulder blades together, the hands will naturally widen away from one another. And then as you push an imaginary wall away, they'll narrow again. So it's literally the shoulder blades making this happen. Let's go for 4 more. Good. And 3. What I also want you to watch for, and I see it quite often, is this. Don't shrug them up. Keep your neck free. 2. Yeah. And 1. Good. I'm going to turn this way again. Nice. So you're going to take the hands back down to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees again underneath the hips. Inhale here, and you're going to exhale, push the floor away, so you're protracting, and then you're going to take one arm up towards the sky into rotation. Now that top arm, I want you to imagine you were literally trying to hold the ceiling up. Imagine the ceiling was trying to crush you. Bit of a dramatic analogy, but really push up through that top arm, push the floor away through the bottom arm. Watch that the hips don't roll over to that left hand side. and you're going to swap over. So left hand comes down, push the floor away, right arm reaches up, push up the ceiling. So with these kinds of things, you got to kind of create your own sense of resistance. Let's swap over to the other side. So we're going to go 2 more on each side, 4 in total. Push the ceiling up. You can feel the shoulder blades work. The bottom shoulder blade is pushing the floor away. The top shoulder blade is squeezing in towards the spine. Good. And swap. And down. And swap. And down. Well done. Bring yourself up into kneeling. Find a little bit of activation through the glutes. Reach your arms forward. We're going to do the same movement now, just without the floor. Right arm's going to stay forward. Left arm is going to push back. Make sure that the hips don't do anything funny. So keep the pelvis pointing towards the front arm and reach. Push the wall behind you away. Push the wall in front of you away. Don't let them shrug up. Good, and then swap. Basically like you're a traffic warden. It's like the most unexciting analogy I think I've ever used, unless you're a traffic warden, in which case, no offense. So swapping again, and so obviously you'll notice a little bit of rotation through the spine, or hopefully you will. Last time, and then absolute last time on this side. And then take it down. Just shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Great job. Okay, so last little drill, at least for now. I'm going to turn to face you. Okay, so you're going to bring your hands up like this, elbow in line with the shoulder. Okay, they're going to want to dip. Don't let it happen. Then wrist is back that way. Okay, so from here, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together towards the spine. That's really important that you keep that. Watch that the ribs don't flare open, so close that down and squeeze the shoulder blades down so they're together towards the spine and down. Elbows stay up nice and high, and you're going to pull the arms back and rotate them forward. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together towards the spine the whole time. Don't lose that. Don't lose the height in the elbows. Don't lose the flex in the wrist. Go for 10. 9. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades together towards the spine. That's going to be the most difficult thing to maintain. 6. 5. Watch for that. 4. 3. 2. 1. And release. Shake it out. Might get a bit necky. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. Cool, guys. Come back onto all fours. This time, we're going to bring ourselves forward into half plank position. So it's just one step further, one step more difficult from normal 4-point kneeling. You're going to find your bum, find your core. Do not let your lower back arch, and see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together and push the floor away. So again, we're back into scapular push-ups. This time, you're more likely to feel a little bit of core activation. Do not let the elbows bend, guys. Please don't. Let's go for 6. Feel the connection of the heel of the hands in towards the mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sink it back into a shallow stretch. So bum comes back towards the heels. Reach your arms forwards. And in this position, just notice where your shoulders are. So they're nice and close to the ears, which means that the shoulder blades are elevated, shrugged up. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Right, now from this position, just walk both of your arms over to the left side of your mat. So it's still shallow or child's pose, but you're walking both hands over to the left side of your mat. Just feel how open you are now on the right side of your body. Breathe into the right shoulder blade. See if you can walk the fingertips of that right hand a little bit further, a little bit deeper along that diagonal. Elevating the shoulder blade on the right side a little bit higher up. Very nice. And then let's walk over to the other side. So both arms over to the left. Breathing into the left side of the lungs, the left shoulder blade. See if you can walk the left fingertips a little bit further along that line. Good. Last breath here. We've got a little bit more warming up to do, and then we'll take it into some real serious core stuff. Okay, bring yourself out of the position, guys. All fours yet again. Now instead of just retracting and protracting, we're going to try and draw a circle with the shoulder blades. It's kind of a weird movement, and a lot of you might feel I don't want to say a mental block, but almost like a physical block. So sometimes when you try and draw a complete circle, there'll be a portion of the movement that just feels unattainable. That's kind of normal, but just take that information on board. Okay, it should be pretty smooth. Let's go for 3 more in this direction. 2. And last 1, and then try and reverse. Okay, the reversal is usually a little bit of a funky one. Really feel the shoulder blades move. Notice the connection of the heels of your hands into the floor. Keep the elbows straight. Last 2 and 1. Bring your left foot forward, out in front, and lift yourself up into a half kneeling. Okay, so you're keeping your right hip above the right knee. It's really important. Reach your arms forward. Take that right arm, reach it a little bit further forward. Left arm is going to twist back. You're pushing the walls away. Okay, watch the left knee. Keep it driving forwards. Good, and then swap nice and slow. Rotate to the other side. Good, we're going to keep on rotating. I want you to try your best as you rotate to minimize any wobbles in the rest of your body. So think about your right hip being dead center in the ball and socket joint. And that right hip is perfectly placed to stabilize you in this kneeling position. Go for 3 more. 2 more. Create your own sense of resistance as you push the walls away. 2 and 1. My counting and lefts and rights are like the worst today, so please forgive me if I get them wrong. All right, reach both arms up. Reach them up there. Nice. Same kind of thing. Right arm is going to reach up, so right shoulder blade is elevated, left shoulder blade is squeezing down. So you're pushing the floor down, you're pushing the ceiling up. Now with no movements in the lower body stays stable. You're going to let yourself side bend over to the other side. So left arm reaches up, right arm pushes the floor down. See if you can start to activate into your obliques on that right side. So squeeze the right shoulder blade down, squeeze your core on the right hand side. Feel that connection that we spoke about at the beginning. And swap. So squeeze here as you squeeze that shoulder blade down. Yeah? That's where your obliques are. And perfect. Take both hands back down. We're just going to swap over to the other side. So bring right foot forward. Hip above knee. Okay. That left hip is perfectly centered in the ball and socket joint. Reach your arms forward. Keep your torso steady. Left arm's going to push the wall in front of you away. Right arm's going to push the back wall back. Squeeze that right shoulder blade down. Reach the left shoulder blade forward. And then swap, rotating at the torso. So you should get a really beautiful opportunity to feel that rib cage rotate. Okay, and swap. Trying to minimize the wobbles as you twist to the other direction. And rotate. Let's try 2 more. I find this strangely enjoyable. I really do. I love this balance challenge. Last one. And then we're going to take the arms up, reach up to the sky. Now don't let the ribs go, okay? Keep them closed. Left arm's going to push the ceiling up. Right shoulder blade is going to squeeze down. Right oblique squeeze down. Don't hike the right hip up though. And then swap. I'm going to squeeze the obliques as I squeeze my shoulder blade down. Reach the right arm up. And swap. Let's go for 2 more. And last time. Well done. Okay, let's place the hands on the ground. And then we're going to scooch our feet out from underneath us and come into seated position on our bum. Okay, so this is, I guess, more kind of traditional core work, but we're still going to think about integrating the shoulder blades. So I want you to reach your arms out in front of you, and I'm just going to show you how they are like this. Imagine you're holding onto a stick, okay? And then you're going to think about, and the stick's quite strong. It's not a little flimsy one, it's a strong one. Then you're going to think about breaking the stick, okay? So breaking the stick is going to engage here. A little bit of a switch on over there, okay? Keep your imaginary broken stick, and then that's going to turn into palms facing up, and someone just placed a big beach ball in your arms, and it's quite heavy, so imagine that's full of sand. Inhale to lengthen up to the crown of your head. As you exhale, you're going to tuck, so that initial movement is a tuck. Roll off of the sit bones onto your sacrum. Hold it right there. Okay, inhale again. Remember, you've just broken your stick. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades down. It's almost like you have a newspaper underneath your armpit that you're holding on to. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring yourself forward again. 2 more of them before we add on. So you've broken your stick, you've got your beach ball, all the visuals today, and then you're going to come all the way down. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it forward. All right, the next time we go down, we're going to hold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck. Roll off of your sit bones onto your sacrum and hold. Now from here, you're going to throw that heavy imaginary beach ball back up overhead, and then slowly take it back down. Okay, slowly throw it up overhead and take it back down. Let's go for maybe 8. That sounds a bit much. If you need less, then you take breaks. 7. Keep on going. Sometimes this position can be a little bit intense on the lower back, so if you need to take breaks, you're welcome to. As you get stronger, you'll be able to be here for longer. Last 3, 2, and 1. And slowly come out of it and slouch over the legs. Well done. Great job. Let's take 2 more breaths in your little slouch. And then we're going to come back into the same kind of thing, okay? So you're going to reach your arms forward, break your imaginary stick, engage here. Turn your palms up, hold onto that heavy beach ball, squeeze your imaginary newspapers. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, tuck. Roll off of the sit bones onto the sacrum and hold. Now keep your feet, at least your heels, evenly weighted on the floor. Knees stay dead still. You're going to rotate left arm out to the left hand side and then bring it back to center. Right arm out to the right, bring it back. It's an exhale to twist, and inhale to bring it back. Good. 4 more, and rotate, and back, and 3, and rotate, and back, and 2, rotate, and back. Last 1, and rotate, and back, and bring it forward. Slouch over those thighs. All right, last C-curve movement, and we're going to activate our obliques and serratus by pressing down into the floor through the heels of our hands. Now you might need to move your hands to get that optimal positioning, so play around with it, okay? But what usually works for me is to take my hands a little bit in front of my bum. So but I'm not back there, I'm not all the way here, I'm just there, okay? From this position, I'm going to lengthen up to the crown of my head, and then I'm going to come back into the C curve position. Now in that C curve, you'll probably see the shoulders want to shrug up to the ears. So I'm going to literally push down into the floor, keeping my elbows straight, and use that to squeeze my shoulder blades down, okay? The more I push into the floor, the more I can actually start to lift my feet off of the ground. So I'm pushing my hands into the ground, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades down, I'm pulling my ribs down, and I'm lifting up my knees. And I'm going to hold this here, keep on pushing down into the floor through the heels of the hands for 10, 9, push, 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 8, 7, squeeze the shoulder blades down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. Come down onto your forearms. Now this is a deceptively relaxing position, but what I want you to do here, guys, is squeeze your shoulder blades together, okay? So you've got the analogy of squeezing the pencil between your shoulder blades right there on that line of your spine, okay? Your neck is free, chin is tucked. Make sure that your elbows aren't too far back behind you and you're not sinking down, okay? Push. Little tuck through the tail. Take the legs into tabletop. Bam. Bam. Okay. Just hang out here and breathe. Filling the belly. Exhaling completely. On your next exhale, extend one leg out long, so single leg stretch, and then bring it back in on your inhale. Exhale, press opposite leg long, bring it in on your inhale. Keep pushing the ground away through the elbows. So like no matter what we do with the legs, you want to keep that activation between the shoulder blades. 4 more. Keep pushing the ground away. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Now see if you can keep those legs in tabletop. Upper body stays as it is. You're going to roll your hips over to the left. Okay, push the ground away a little bit more. Squeeze your right shoulder blade down, and then see if you can extend your legs out long on that diagonal. The lower you extend your legs, the harder this is going to be, okay? And then you're going to bend your knees back through center, over to the other side, and extend. Squeeze the left shoulder blade down. Bring it in. So you're squeezing the opposite shoulder blade down to the side that your legs are extending to. And you should feel, as you squeeze that shoulder blade down, that you get that little bit more activation through the obliques. So go for 6. You feel yourself roll past the sacrum onto the opposite pelvic half. 5, 4. Good. Your hip flexors will work as well. You'll feel the shoulders. 3, 2. Now hold it on the side if you can. Hold it there. And you're going to start to interlace the feet. So crisscross. And you can play around with this. Crisscross them down. Crisscross them up. Crisscross them down. Crisscross them up. Let's go for one more. Crisscross down. And then you just got to go to the other side. Bend the knees through center. Take them over. Extend. Push the ground away. Interlace. And as you interlace, maybe you can lower. Keep thinking. So if your legs are over to the left, squeeze your right shoulder blade down. Feel what that does. Last time. Down, 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 up, up, up. Bring it through center. Take the feet down and you get to lie down. Great job. Okay, so now that you're down, just take a few moments to interlace your thumbs. Reach your arms back overhead, and then allow your legs to straighten out. Take a few big breaths into the front line of your body. Again, just letting the abdominals stretch a little bit. Find that deep inhale into the belly. And exhale. Let's go for one more breath here. It's tempting to just stay here, isn't it? And then bring those knees up towards the sky. Bend the knees, feet flat to the floor. Okay, cool. From here, we're going to take our hands behind our head. And just so you know, I am super strongly interlocking my fingers here. So that interlocking of my fingers, I'm then going to use to try and create a little bit of resistance as I try and almost pull my elbows away from one another. Okay, so that's going to be something that I'm going to cue you in flexion. So strongly interlock your fingers at the base of your skull. Then you're going to bring your elbows into your peripheral vision so you can see them out of the corner of your eyes. Inhale here at the bottom. As you exhale, bring yourself forward into a crunch, into flexion. Stay here. Now I want you to keep your fingers strongly interlocked, but imagine your elbows were pulling east and west in opposite directions. Pull your elbows apart and then see if you can assist that by squeezing your shoulder blades together towards the spine. Just notice what that does. I start to shake. Now see if you can bring your ribcage a little bit further forward and then slowly come back down. Inhale at the bottom. We're going to do that a few more times. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Come up into flexion. Now your fingers are super strongly interlaced. You're going to keep that. That's going to keep them together. And pull your elbows apart. Pull your elbows apart. Your fingers are going to want to slide away from one another, but you're not going to let it happen. Squeeze your shoulder blades together towards your spine, and then try and bring your rib cage a little bit further forward, and then slowly come down. If that all just feels a little bit too much, then stick with normal flexion and just forget about the elbow thing. Otherwise, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. Pull your elbows apart. Pull them apart. Your fingers are going to have to really grip onto one another. Squeeze your shoulder blades together towards the spine. Bring yourself a little higher into your crunch. And then slowly come down. Last time, we're going to hold at the top. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. Pull the elbows apart. Squeeze the scapula together. Bring yourself a little higher up, and then actually release the fingers and reach your arms long alongside your body. Come a little bit further forward. Now you've just turned into Spider-Man and you just released your web to the wall in front of you. Squeeze your shoulder blades down, reach those fingertips to the wall, and you're going to pulse the ribcage forward. Go for 10. So don't let the shoulders hike up towards the ears. Squeeze imaginary newspapers. Good. 7. 6, as the rib cage comes forward, notice how your shoulders move as well. So the shoulder blades move with the rib cage. 5, squeeze the shoulder blades down. 4, 3, reach for the wall in front of you. 2, and 1, and take it down. Reach the arms back, interlace the thumbs. And this time we're going to let our knees windscreen wipe slowly from side to side. So taking your knees over to one side, pause for an inhale. And exhale, move them over to the other side. So you might feel quite a deep stretch over your abdominals as you windscreen wipe the knees. That's because this is a really great position to stretch out the obliques. Make sure you take a big breath in when you're on one side, and then exhale, move through center. We'll go 1 more on each side. So knees over to one side, big inhale. Exhale, move through center. Knees over to the other side. Big inhale. And then bring it back to center. Really great job. Okay, so we're going to take it into a little bit of lower body kind of core activation. but I still want you to keep tabs on the upper body and the shoulder blades. So we're going to make sure that the chest is wide, neck is relaxed, and you're going to take your hands alongside your body, palms face up. Ideally, you'll be in a neutral spine for this, so you might like to arch into the lower back and then tuck and round into the lower back, and then find a happy medium between those two extremes where your tailbone is heavy on the floor. You're going to take one leg into tabletop, other leg in, and hold. Okay, so we're just going to stay here for a second. I want you to breathe here, at least 4 rounds of inhale and exhale. Remember the breath you did at the beginning of class? You were in the same position. Now your feet are just suspended. Find the big inhale in through the nose. Big exhale, ideally out of the nose as well. Maintaining the lower back positioning. Two more breaths. This shouldn't be easy. This is really tough if you're managing to keep the neck relaxed and the core switched on. Inhale one more time. And on your exhale, with a flexed foot, you're going to take your left heel down towards the ground, tap with a feathers touch, and then bring it up. Right foot down, tap with a feathers touch, and bring it up. So exhale as you lower, inhale to lift, exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Try for 6, and back. Good. Keep the lower back under wraps. 5, and lift, and 4, and lift. Last 3, and lift. 2, and lift, and last time. Lift and hug the knees in towards your body. Good job. Hopefully that felt good. Okay, so we're gonna up the ante a little bit, and I'm hoping, guys, that you'll be able to take your hands alongside your body and straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. Now, I know that's quite difficult for a lot of people, totally understandable. So if you feel that you'd like to put something underneath your tailbone, maybe a pillow, or even just your hands, it's gonna feel good, okay? So do what feels best for you. Don't struggle through it with a sore lower back or sore hip flexors, please. All right, so from here, let's reach the legs up towards the sky, and I want you to think about energy coming up through the heels of your feet. I'm going to go for a flexed foot, okay? You're welcome to point. From here, I'm going to remove my hands from beneath my tailbone, and I'm going to try and find a neutral spine. You're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, lower one leg down. Draw the straightest line down that you can. Inhale to bring it back up. Right leg or opposite leg down. Straight line on the way back up. No momentum. Keep on going. Palms are facing up. Ribs are drawing down. Lower back is in neutral. Chin is slightly tucked. Try your best, guys, to make sure that the neck is not kind of over activating. If that is the case for you, it's got to do with the breath, okay? And also probably strength levels. If you don't get that breath sorted out, and you take that big breath in, you're gonna, your neck is basically trying to be your core, okay? So we want to try and fix that by getting the breathing really, really on point. So filling the left and the right sides as you inhale and deflating accurately on that exhale. Let's go for 2 more. Last time. Very nice. Now try and keep the legs lifted up towards the sky if you can. You're going to start to rely a little bit more on your hands now, okay? So the hands are going to be pressing down into the floor. Don't let the shoulders pop forward. Think about them drawing back into the ground. Once you've kind of seen me do this once, don't look to the camera. You want to look straight up at the ceiling. Neck positioning is really important here. So from this position, guys, you're going to let those legs come forward maybe 2 or 3 inches. And then you're going to bring your legs close in towards your body, round into the lower back, press into the floor, and just lift your bum a little. I don't want you to come into a full rollover just yet. We're going to start to practice lifting our tailbone off the floor and controlling it back down. As soon as your bum lifts, you want to press into the ground through the back of the arms. So we're really integrating the shoulder blades and the shoulder girdle into this movement. Now, if this just feels like one step too far for you, then what you'll do is you'll just bring the legs in as close as you can. Maybe see if you can get a tiny little lift and then take them back. Okay, bring them in as close as you can, tiny little lift and take them back. So pick your poison. If this is feeling pretty good, then you can start to lower the legs down a little bit more and then bring them back a little bit further, rolling onto the shoulder blades, not onto the neck, never onto the neck, okay? Your neck is free. And then you're going to slowly roll yourself all the way down, just like you would come out of a bridge, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, send the legs forward. Exhale, press down into the earth with the hands. Lift up. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down. I'd rather you do like 4 really good ones than like 10 super quick momentum-based ones. Okay, last time like this. Very nice. And then pop your feet on the ground. Just take a little breather, okay? All right, so I'm going to offer you 2 more variations of that, increasing in difficulty each time. So if you're like, oh my God, that was already really difficult, then stick with what we just did. If you feel you could take a little bit more, then you come along for the ride, okay? It's just tiny little additions. So from here, I'm going to keep my hands alongside my body, palms pressing down. I'm going to reach the legs up towards the sky. I'm going to let my legs come down a little bit further now. And then I'm going to bring them up, press down into the floor, take my legs up overhead and stop. From here, I'm going to think about squeezing my bum, lift my legs up towards the ceiling. I'm still on my shoulder blades, not my neck. And then I'm going to bring them back down with control. And then I'm going to slowly lower my spine down again. So that's the first optional addition, okay? So you can start that. If that's going well, we'll add on. So let's try maybe 3 of them. So once you're up, pause. It's your bum. Your lower back is going to want to lift the legs for you. But try and use your bum to lift the legs up. Slowly lower them back. And then take yourself down. If that's going well, last little addition, I'm going to move a little bit further away from the wall. Last addition would be sending the legs down, bringing them up, send them up towards the sky, squeezing your bum, take them back, roll it down, and as soon as your tailbone touches the floor, you're going to circle the legs wide, take them down, and then use that to bring you back up again, okay? All right. I'm going to give you time to do about 2 more of these. Remember, you're using the shoulder blades to press down into the floor so the shoulders don't pop forward. Keep pressing down into the earth. Even on the way down. Last time. And then once your tailbone touches on that last one, place your feet on the ground. Well done, guys. So just so you know, that exercise would be kind of like a level 3 mat work for Pilates. So it's quite advanced. It's definitely not beginner's work. So if you manage to get that full sequence, then well done. Okay, but from here we're going to just hug our knees in towards our chest, and then go ahead and actually bring your forehead up towards your knees, rounding into the spine. Inhale, and then you're just going to roll yourself up into seated. Great. So we've got about 14 minutes left. We're going to take ourselves onto our tummy and come into some postural work, still integrating the shoulder blades. Okay, so onto your tummy, and initially you're just going to place your forehead onto your hands. We're going to focus on the lower body first, and then we'll add the upper body in, okay? So first things first, place your forehead on your hands. I want you to keep the upper body involved. So you're just going to gently squeeze your elbows down into the floor. That also is quite nice to free the neck. Think about your tailbone lengthening towards the wall behind you. That might mean that your bum switches on a little bit and your pubic bone presses down into the mat. From here, I want you to point your toes. Okay, and then you're going to squeeze your bum, lift your right leg and knee off the ground. So the leg is straight, and then slowly take it down. And then swap. Lift the left leg, and then take it down. Imagine you had like a tray of tea on your bum, okay, that you really, really don't want to spill. You don't want to let it slosh from side to side. Okay, so that's all pelvic stability. Okay, so as soon as you lift one leg, make sure that your hips don't roll over towards the opposite side. 5 to go. It's all glute. Elbows stay gently pressing down into the floor. 3. Last 2. And final 1. Well done. Place your forehead on the mat and just extend your arms out long with the thumbs facing up towards the sky. Okay, we're going to do the same movements in the legs, but we're going to add the opposite arm in. Keep your forehead on the mat. Right leg lifts, left arm lifts. Now try and really challenge that arm. Get the thumb to touch the ceiling. Reach up, reach up, reach up. And then down. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Right arm, left leg. And take it down. So it's kind of easy, keep going by the way, to just lift that arm up, half of your ability, but try and really challenge that end range. Shoulder flexion. Going for 6. Try not to bend into the knee that's extending and lifting. Keep the knee cap lifting up, quad is engaged. 4 more. Good, and 3. Last 2. And 1. Very nice, great job. Now, you're going to lift your gaze, lift your chest, and when your head is up, guys, keep an imaginary peach between your chin and your chest. Alright, you're going to lift your sternum up, and as you do that, your pinky fingers should slide back towards you on the mat. Okay, so you're lifting up your chest. Keep your lower back really, really long. Keep your bum engaged. Now, depending on how flexible you are in your thoracic spine, you might be able to walk those hands back a good fair bit, but be honest about whether or not this is happening in your lower back. From here, the worst thing I ever see is this, shoulders up towards the ears. It makes me very sad. So push down into the floor to help you get the shoulders to squeeze away from those ears. Press your pubic bone down, tuck, 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 and you're going to see if you can lift one arm up. You're challenging that end range, and then down. Press down into that pinky toe edge of your stabilizing arm, and then lift the opposite arm up. Now, if it's too much to stay on the pinky edge of the hand, you can place the palm flat down. Okay, it might give you a little bit more purchase of the floor, but you're still lifting the thumb to the sky. Go for 4, 3, very nice, 2, 1. Good. Take it down nice and slow. Place your forehead on your hands again. Okay. So you're going to keep your forehead down on your hands now. Bring your heels together and your toes apart. So heels together, toes apart. Nice. From this position, press your pubic bone down into the floor. Lengthen your tailbone to the wall behind you. Elbows pressed down into the ground just a little. And you're going to try and squeeze the heels so much together and then lift the knees off of the mat. You lift the knees up. Once your knees are suspended in the air, can you squeeze your heels together a little more? And then take them back down. And again, inhale at the bottom. Exhale, squeeze the heels together, lift up those knees. Hover and hold for a beat, and then slowly take them back down. And lift the knees, squeeze the heels. Good, and slowly back down. You're going to go for, I'd say 3 more. And squeeze, lift, lift, lift. Lower back stays nice and long. So think about your lower back like a long highway, not like a ditch in the road. Yeah. And last time, lift. Good. And then lower it back down. Very nice. So just take a look at me for the next little bit because it's going to incorporate a few bits and pieces. So just watch me do one and then you can add in, okay? Or you can join in. So it starts the same way, guys. We're going to keep that position in the lower body, heels together, toes apart. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to lift the knees up off of the ground. I'm going to keep my knees lifted. I'm going to then see if I can separate my feet and extend my legs long. So my knees are not on the ground, okay? Then I'm going to see if I can lift my chest, reach my arms back, kind of like I'm flying for a second. And then I'm going to come all the way back down, bring the heels together and toes apart. So you're welcome to join in. Heels together, toes apart. Inhale. Exhale. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Lift the knees. Squeeze the heels together. Then let the feet separate. Extend your legs long. Squeeze the kneecaps up. Squeeze your bum. Lift your chest. Reach your arms back. Hold. And then slowly take it back down. Let's just go for maybe 3 more and move a little bit over. Keep hitting my pot plant. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Extend the legs, straighten them out. Lift up. Good, and down. Last 2 times. Inhale. Exhale, lift the knees. Extend through the legs. Take it up. And down. Last time, and lift the knees, extend the legs, separating the feet, squeeze your bum, lift your quads, hold for 5, 4, breathe, 3, 2, 1, and release. Great job. Okay, so we're almost done with the extension work. Last little bit of extension work here. So I'm going to keep my forehead on the mat, reach my arms back, and then before you do anything else, I want you to make sure that you can externally rotate into your shoulders. So if you had to look at me right now, my shoulder is externally rotated. Internal rotation, you can see the shoulder at the front is really closed down. It's not great. So we want to externally rotate through the shoulders and squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Pubic bone into the mat gently, and then lift your chest up off of the ground. You'll still feel your last ribs on the ground. From here, guys, circle the arms back. Essentially, the circle is coming from the shoulder blades. Go for 10, 9, 8. So remember when we did shoulder blade circles at the beginning of class on all fours? See if you can feel that here. Go for 4, 3. Watch for chin poke forward. Bad for the neck. 2, 1. Reverse your circles for 10, 9, 8. Keep your feet on the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hands under your forehead. Lower your chest down. forehead onto your hands. Now, one of my favorite things to do in this position is stretch my quads. So you're going to keep your right hand underneath your forehead, press your pubic bone into the floor, and then see if you can reach your left hand back for your left foot. So it's same hand, same foot, okay? Right. Now, depending on what is tight in your legs, if you want pure quad, you're going to keep those knees pretty much close together. If you like to cross your legs, then you might be tight in a muscle called sartorius, in which case your knees can go a little bit further away from one another, and then you pull your heel towards your bum and squeeze your bum and tuck your tail. So you're pressing your pubic bone into the floor. Yeah? So you can play around with it with the knees a little bit further away from one another, or you can bring those knees literally parallel, and then pull the heel to the bum, press your pubic bone into the earth. Let's take about 4 more breaths in here. If you're not feeling all that much, then I definitely want to encourage you to try and tuck a little bit more. So the tuck of the tail is really going to give you that exposure of the hip flexor into the mat. Good. Last little squeeze of the heel towards the glute, and then slowly release. Okay, nice. Straight over to the other side. Okay, so same hand, same foot. Again, you can pick if you want to stretch quads. Keep the knees together. But if you want to kind of just feel the difference, you can let that right knee open out to the right hand side. Separate the knees a little bit and just see what is more intense for you. If you don't feel enough, it means that you're either you're super flexible or you're not tucking enough. Hold and breathe for 4 more breaths, guys. Press the pubic bone into the floor. Squeeze your glute on the sides you're stretching. Last breath. Last little squeeze of the heel to the bum, and then slowly release. Well done. Bring yourself up briefly onto all fours one last time. So the previous thing that you did before you stretched your quads, we worked the back extensor muscles quite a lot. So we're just going to find a cat stretch. I'm going to round into the whole spine. Try your best to round into the lower back as well. So when you think you're rounding into your lower back, try and round a little more. Let your head relax down. Keep the cat stretch position, and then just slowly move your hips from side to side. Okay, so you're keeping that cat stretch position, and then you're going to move your bum to the left, move your bum to the right, and you might get a little bit of a stretch along the lower back area. Going for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then you're going to bring yourself back. Just sit on those heels for a second. And guys, time literally flew today, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. You might feel a little bit of, shoulder kind of fatigue tomorrow, or mid back or upper back fatigue tomorrow. You'll know where it's from. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Have a really awesome weekend.